Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Nat Fashion Hub, the best fashion channel in the world. So I told us in the last video I dropped when I made a princess cut that I'm going to drop another video on how to cut a corset. Yeah. So we're going to drop that video today like this. So if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and turn the notification bell on. In case you're wondering who this is, like you remember in some of my videos I told you I'm going to be dropping videos with my wife together. We're going to be running this channel together, so she's going to handle that class today on how to make a corset. Guys, I've not seen anything. She's a pro. So over to you, ma. What do you have for us?
Hello YouTubers, welcome to Nat Fashion Hub, and I'm so glad to take us on this tutorial. And just want to let you know that because making a corset blouse is very simple, and also to note that this video is going to be coming in series because we have different types of corsets. We have corsets where you use already made bra cups, and corsets where you make the bra cups yourself. And even for those corsets, there are even different types of bra cups, and we intend to cover all that on this channel. So you just have to subscribe to this channel and turn the notification bell on so that you will get notified when all the videos come up, whenever they do.
Alright, so thank you so much. Let's hit into the class. You are in for an amazing time. Thank you.
Okay, so welcome to the cutting table. We'll just be drafting the pattern for our corset very quickly. It's advisable that you use your patterns to cut your corset on your material. So, and of course, to enable you to add the various allowances on your material. So we're just drafting the pattern for our corset. This corset we are making. For this pattern of corsets, we are making the bra cup. There are different types of corsets and even different types of bra cups, but this one is very easy. And subsequently, we'll be getting the videos for making a corset with an already made bra cup. But for this one, we are going to be constructing our bra cup ourselves. So just pay attention. I'll just quickly write down the measurements I'm going to be using for my client. The shoulder is 14, and for the shoulder I'll divide it by 2, which will give me 7 inches. Then my bust is 36. The bust will be divided by 4, which will give me 9 inches. Then the under bust, that's the under the bust, the circumference is 30 inches, which I'll be dividing by 4, and that will give me 7.5. Then the half cut length, that is from the shoulder to under the bust vertically, that is 13 inches. I'm not going to be dividing this because it has to be the client's length. Then the bust point, which is from the shoulder to the center of the bust vertically, that is 9 inches. Then basically for this, then the bust wideness, we have the bust wideness, which is from the one nipple to the next nipple horizontally. So you have one nipple, from one nipple to the next nipple, and I'll marking that BW, and that is 8 inches. So this is the measurement that we are working with for this corset. So the equipment I'm going to be using for this corset are very simple, not complicated. Just my French curve, which is this. I have it here. My ruler, my marker. You can use your chalk, your pencil, whatever it is you like to use. I have my scissors. I have my tape. Yes, basically for marking this corset, this is what I will need. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark out ½ inch that will be used for my shoulder slant, and I have it here. I'm going to mark that line out. I have it as so. Then I'm going to mark the length of my armhole, which is at 7.5 inches. Then I'm going to mark the bust point, which is 9 inches, the half cut, which is 13 inches, and okay, I'm going to include the length of the corset. If you're joining, maybe it's a gown, you're going to make the corset depending on where you want the down part of your gown to start from. If it's a blouse you want, you're going to impute your blouse length, but for this I'm just going to make it as though it were a gown, as though we're attaching something down. So the attachment would start from 18 inches, which is the navel length. I'll label it as NL. So the navel length, that is where the navel is, for this client is 18 inches. So I'm going to do that, trying to get the mark, so I'll draw my lines accordingly. 13 inches here, 18 inches here. So I'm just going to connect these lines, and this here, and this. So here we go. And so quickly, my shoulder is 7 inches, which is 7. We're adding half inch around to this. The same thing on my armhole line, which is 7.5, connecting. Which is it. I have my shoulder point connected, so at the armhole I'm going to come up by 1.5 inch, and then that will be to get my curve. And then I have this, so I have my curve here. Then I'm now going to work on my bra cup right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to impute my bust wideness all through. I have it as 8 inches. Your bust wide is going to be divided by 2, and that is going to give you 4. So I'm going to impute 4 inches all the way down. 4 inches all the way down. I'm just going to make this video as simple as possible, so it will be easy to comprehend. So I have it all the way down as so. Then what I'm going to do, let me just quickly outline this line so that you have a clear understanding. Don't forget, this is my bust point, this is my half cut, and this is my navel length, where the corset, the length of the corset top for the joining to continue. This is where it's going to stop. So these are the lines. So from my half cut going down, exception of my bust point, from my half cut going down, I'm going to come and impute 1 inch on both sides. I'm going to mark from the center of this line, I'm marking 1 inch here, 1 inch here, 1 inch here, and 1 inch here. And if you had a longer blouse, you're going to do the same thing all the way down. And then we're just going to connect as I have here. Good. So this is what you have, and then use your French curve and connect it to your bust. And so use your French curve, connect it to your bust. So one thing I try to do when I'm making my corset, or when I'm teaching my students corset, is try to minimize the number of lines I have on my paper. Trust me, those lines can be very confusing. So I just try to use steps that will minimize the number of lines I have on my pattern, so that it's much easier to comprehend. So at this point, I believe you've understood to this point. But the next thing I'm going to do is, let's just from this point we're going to mark 4 inches round. Now that 4 inches is our bust wide, so we're going to mark the wideness of our bust. We're going to mark it round this bodice, and this is how it's going to be like. I'm marking 4 inches round, 4 inches all the way. That shouldn't, it's just to get a circle. So I'm marking that to get a circle. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, comment, share this video, tell your friends about it. Trust me, we are giving you nothing short of the best. So I'm using my French curve to connect my dots together to get my circle, and it goes like this. And so yes, so there we go. Yeah, so we have our circle here. Then the next thing now is, from this circle I'm going to determine the height, how high I want my bra cup to be, and then I'm just going to see this circle, the height of this circle, the peak of this circle is at 5 inches. For me it's okay how high I want my bra cup to be, and then the depth, that is where how high, and then the depth at the center of the bra cup, I'm going to 7 inches is also okay for me, because I'm quite certain that the cleavage would not be revealing. 7 and 7.5 inches depth is okay, it's not going to reveal your bust. And if you have a height of 5 inches to 5.5 inch, you're quite certain that your bust, your cleavage is not going to reveal. Yes, so 5 inches is okay for me. If you wanted to take it down to maybe 5.5 inches, you're just going to mark that and then connect to the circle. Yes, but for me what I have here is perfect, so I'm just going to make use of a depth of bra cup depth of 7 inches and a height of 5 inches as I have here. And then I'm coming over here. This is the center of the corset bodice, so I'm going to determine the wideness between both bra cups. You can use ½ inch, you can use 3/4 inches, you can use 1 inch, as wide as you want it to be, but for me I'm going to be making use of ½ inch. ½ inch is fine for my client, so if you wanted it more, you're just going to extend it as you want. That is the distance between both bra cups, and then we have it there as ½ inch. So what I'm going to do, this ½ inch is marked, so I'm just going to use my French curve and connect from this point now to this point, like this. So I'm going to have it like this. Yes, so there we go. So, and then I come here. I'm quite sure you understand. So immediately you mark this, you're just going to start the lines you don't need, so that you don't get confused. Yes, so I don't need this line, this is the line I'll be working with. So there you go. So the next thing I'm going to also do is, now, for a lady's bust, we have the side part of the bust is usually fuller than the center view of the bust, if you would call it that. So for that side part, which is here, I'm going to I'm just going to be adding ½ inch by the side, that is at the armhole side, which is here. Yeah, so I'm just going to be adding ½ inch there, and yes, so I have it as so. So this is to accommodate the fuller side of the bust, and I'm going to now connect this part to this part as shown. So there you go. And I don't need this line. I'm going to cancel it. Those lines are not necessary, so this is what I have. So now I'm going to come here, and then my bust wideness, don't forget my bust wideness is 4 inches, so I'm just going to do the same thing, mark my 4 inches here, and then I'm going to have the same thing I did here. I'm doing here 1 inch on both sides, and then you would use a French curve to use the connection. So there we go. And then next thing is to connect to the points you have. So I have this point to this point. So I don't need this inner line, so I just want to strike it out so you don't get confused. And then connecting this point to this point. Yes, I don't need this, so strike it out. So there you go. You have your corset bra cup set, and then this upper part is actually just if you're making a corset with a yoke is an attachment up, you're going to need this. But if you're making a corset without a yoke, then you would not need this. So but it's quite important that you mark it out, so especially if you're a beginner, so you don't get confused. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm done with creating my bra cup. The next thing I'm going to do is to impute my measurement. I'm going to mark these basic bodies without any allowance. I'll be adding the allowance on my fabric when I'm cutting, and that is why it is very important that you turn your notification bell on, so that when I release the video of cutting, the process, sewing, you will not be left out. So don't forget, I said my bust circumference is divided by 4 is 9 inches, and I have it as so. I have my under bust, which is 7.5 inches. I'm going to mark it as so. And incidentally, for this client, she has the same measurement even at the navel length, so I'm going to mark it as so. And then I'm going to impute this 2 inches. Don't forget 1 inch, 1 inch here. It's 2 inches that we took out. I'm going to replace it here. So I'm replacing the 2 inches here, placing 2 inches here, and I'm replacing 2 inches here. So I'm just going to connect from top to bottom. Yes, and there you have it, top to bottom. So what I'm going to do is to we are done. Can you see? It's very simple. So just going to bring this out quickly and show us how we're going to arrange our cup. Give you an overview of what it looks like. Okay, so now I'm cutting. Don't forget, this is what I need. So I'm just going to cut that around. Yes, so corset bodies is cut out. We're going to put this aside, and then this is what we have. So one thing I always want to tell my students is when you're marking a corset, ensure you mark your pieces corsets, when you're making the bra cup, it has pieces that if you're not careful, you're going to mix the whole thing up. So it's very important that you mark your pieces. So I call here, this is one bra cup, but of course divided into two, so this is like part bra cup 1, bra cup. Yes, so I have my basic bodies here. Like I said, it's very important that we mark our lines so that we don't get confused. So this is my center joining. This is the center part of my bra cup I'm going to be joining. So I'll just call here center joining. I'll label it CJ1. Then I label here CJ2. Yes, so here's my side joining, the joinings that are going to be joining to the parts that are going to be joining to the remaining part of the dress. So I call it my side joining. You can call it whatever you like, you can label whatever you like. So I call it my, here I call it my SJ1 and then my SJ2. So when I'm joining, I do not get confused. So remember I told you, mark out the lines you don't need. I won't be needing here. This is my bra cup, this is my second bra cup, so I don't need here, I don't need here, and here is unnecessary. So I'm just going to cut out quickly and then you see what we have. So here these are the lines that I need, and I'll cut it as so. So this is the center part of your top, the corset top. This is the center part, so I call it CP rather. I call it my center part, I call it my CP. Then we're going to bring out the side part of the corset top. Yes, so this is the side, I call it my SP, I label it my SP and SP. Yes, so make sure your pieces are carefully labeled so that you don't have a challenge to identify which is which. So I'm going to bring out my bra cups, and here we go. Is down. Yes. Now, did you get that? Yes, we did. So this is my bra cup. Now, don't forget you're going to label the other piece. So as well. So this is my CJ1. I'm labeling it here CJ1. This is my SJ1. I'm labeling here SJ1. And then this is my CJ2. I'm labeling here CJ2. My SJ2. I'm labeling here SJ2 as so. Now our corset is ready. Just going to place it so you see what it looks like. Don't forget, please keep your notification bell on because we're going to make this dress. I'm going to place it on the material and show you how to cut it, where you add the allowance. We're going to be doing all the gummings together. Trust me, it's something you know how to miss. And then the sewing, of course, is one thing to learn how to cut a perfect corset, is another thing to know how to sew it. So please don't forget to subscribe and put your notification bell on. I just want to place this quickly so you see what it looks like. This is the body of the corset. So just joining my bra cups, I have it here. I have my part 1 and part 2, so I'm just going to pick up CJ2 and CJ1. I'm going to join them together as so. So can you see? very easy. I didn't get confused because I marked all my pieces. Just going to join them just to show you what we've done. So I'm done pinning my first piece, and remember I told you this is the first bra cup. Remember I told you I'm just pinning the second one. So we have CJ1 to CJ2. As I told you in the previous video, we're pinning CJ1 to CJ2, and then there we go. So secure it with our pin. Here we go. Our second bra cup is ready. So we have 2 bra cups. So we're going to place it. CJ, this is our bodice. CJ1 joins to this side and CJ2 joins to this side. So place it like this. CJ1 joins to this side and CJ2 joins to this side, and there we go. Can you see that? Can you see this? Our corset is ready, and in this video I believe by now you can tell that making a corset is simple. It's not that difficult, and I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please let me know at the comment section. There you go. So we have our bra cups. This is what it looks like, and you don't want to miss out on the sewing tutorial. You don't want to miss out on that. Trust me, it's something you don't want to trade for anything. So this is what it looks like, and there you go. Let me know what you think on the comment section. How well did you understand? How were you able to cut? Just tell me something on the comment section. I'll be looking forward to your comments. Don't forget, like this video, share the video, comment, and most importantly, if you have not subscribed to my channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Subscribe to Nat Fashion Hub. Turn your notification bell on so that when the next video on how to put this whole thing together comes up, you will not be left out. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed time. Thank you.